Welcome, mountain viewers. I'm Lane, and this is Mountain View Range Day. All right, so I thought today I would just do the typical old gun tuber thing and do a walkthrough of my kit as a rifleman team leader. I'm currently transitioning into the team leader role, so hopefully I'll be filling that spot soon. So kind of experimenting with the new loadout. I've changed up my loadout a little bit, kind of transitioning into that new role, experimenting with some new things. So who knows? A lot of what I'm about to show in this video could even change down the line, and who knows? Maybe I'll make another video talking about um, my new setup. But right now, this is what I am getting ready to run, and here coming up, I've got a FTX I'm going to be going to, so I'll be trying out a lot of this new setup, so see how it runs. Some of it's been tried and true, time tested, that I have been running with for the past several years and have not changed a thing. So let's get into it. First off, um, probably start with just my general everyday uniform. So obviously, I'm just going to be wearing my usual multicam uniforms. I got my little rigger's belt here with the hookup if I ever need to hook up a lanyard or a tie-in, anything. Got that on my belt. And I've noticed with this belt, what I really like is it's almost completely Velcro, so it works really well with my gun belt with the Velcro lining, so they pair up nicely. Even though that's not what this belt was intended for, it still works really well. And I think I've had this particular belt, gosh, since at least, oh gosh, at least since 2012, I'd say I've had it, and I'm still continuing to use it. It is not worn out on me yet. Let me see if I have there's a brand on it. I'm pretty sure it is a proper, but I have most of the gear today. I'm probably going to just say, all right, I have, let's see, Assault Systems by Elite Survival Systems. So there you go. That's the brand of belt it is, and it has lasted this long. And I have taken it on countless FTXs and through Afghanistan, and it has not given up on me. So I have not given up on it yet. So, and forewarning, I will say that most of this gear out here, I will say I have no idea what brand it is. It's probably something I have just picked up randomly throughout my years and liked it, put it on here, been using it. It's worked really well, and God forbid if it ever goes out on me, because I would have no idea what I need to look up to replace it. So anyway, moving on. So then I would also have my combat top, and I'd probably have my sleeve pouches. I would have my pins, also my uniform. Depending on what uniform it is and how hot it is, I might have a combat roll, so I might not have pins in my forearm. But yeah, usually I have a tourniquet in my left sleeve pocket, or I have some sort of map or notes that I need, little notebook in my sleeve pockets. So moving on from there, I'll go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. This giant vest right here. This thing, this is one of the first times I will say I have no idea who makes this vest. I have found no markings or any sort of tag on it to tell me who made this thing, but I have had this since at least 2014. Maybe before that, maybe it was 2013. Bought it off a guy for $60. So, and again, it's been one of those that I have taken it through countless. I have lived out of it, out of countless FTXs, deployments. It's been to Afghanistan. Um, I've even used this in some of the Milsim West games I've gone to. I've lived out of it. Um, Number of airsoft games, but more importantly, a lot of my FTXs where we're actually real life training in them, and this thing again has not failed me. It has gone this long and absolutely refuses to die, and it's one of the reasons I can't move on from it yet. I haven't found a suitable replacement for it yet. So anyway, moving on. Front of the vest here. As you may notice, I've got all my magazine pouches right out front here, the double stack. Um, and I know I'm going to see comments immediately right off the bat. Why do you have all your magazines on the front? Why don't you keep a slick front so you can get low to the ground and be all cool like Grand Thumb says? I'm not saying Grand Thumb's wrong. I'm just saying for um, in my experience and um, coming into coming into a team leader role, I've needed I've needed ammo more than I've needed to be just straight close to the ground. Now, with that being said, there was a time when I was in recon, and when we would have our hide side set up, we'd be in the bunker, and we'd have to be as low to the ground, and we'd have to use micro terrain. So in that case, I would keep a slick front because I may only need those 3 magazines up front just because our mission wasn't to go out and engage somebody. We were trying to stay low to the ground, stay hidden, and not have big, bulky, kitted out, lots of ammo vests just because that wasn't our mission. Our mission was to get eyes on, um, report back to headquarters. Hey, we went out here. This is where we saw. This is what we saw. This is where we saw them. This is what they were doing. And then the combat teams would go in and then they would take them out. That wasn't our job. So I didn't require lots of ammo. And at that time, I was running a kangaroo pouch and like nothing else on the front. It was just a slipped out 3 mag kangaroo pouch and nothing else. Um, Now going back to being a line infantryman and being a team leader, um, through the FTXs, I've noticed my mission is more, I need ammo and I need it right then. And I need all my ammo to be accessible. So I want to keep all my mags up front because I can keep my magazines in my workspace because that's what I'm going to be needing. I'm going to need that fire superiority. Um, and as a team leader, I'm going to be more moving up and down my line, checking on my guys, adjusting their fields of fire. I'm not going to be dug into a trench doing micro terrain. And that, again, this is something that's probably subject to change. I might go into a few more FTXs with this current setup, decide I don't like it, probably change it out, maybe just run um, single stack magazines or single magazines, not double magazines in the pouches. I don't know. So some subject to change, but right now, um, having more of my mission being direct engagement, this is why I've elected to go with sacrificing being able to get low for having more ammo readily available for me. Moving on from there, behind those magazine pouches, I have a medical knife with a seatbelt cutter. I like to have this right here where it's right handy and I don't have to go digging through my belt or anywhere else on my kit to try to find it. I can easily access this in a vehicle. If I got to get out of the vehicle, cut my seatbelt, get out of that vehicle in a hurry. Um, Or if I'm coming up on a casualty, it's right here. I can pull it out, rip away clothing if I need to, get in, assess the wound, rip my own clothing away, do what needs to be done. But yeah, I find it being right there is really good, especially for those vehicle ops. Right next to it, I like to keep a pen. You always need a pen when you going on missions. You never know. You might need to write down notes for the operation. You might need to know, hey, what's my call signs? What kind of support do I have? What's their call signs? What's their frequencies? Now you have to be careful because if you're writing that stuff down, you got to remember if in the unfortunate event you get overrun, that's going to be stuff that you have to destroy, get rid of, eat, swallow, whatever. Um, yeah, get rid of it. So you are writing that stuff down. Be aware of that, but you do need to take notes. So having a pen is very important. Next on that, all of that is in front of this kangaroo pouch right here that originally I had a kangaroo magazine pouch inserted in here, but if I put it in here, that'll put my magazines up here. So then I couldn't put anything on the chest. Now it made it a lot slicker and everything a lot closer to my vest, more compact. However, I couldn't put anything on the top of my rig, so this would be completely slicked down. So now having these magazines, that's another reason I've gone with these magazine pouches, is that puts the magazines down a little bit lower, opens up my workspace a little bit more, and I can put some stuff up here if I need stuff up here. So now with that kangaroo pouch, I keep my notebook. So it's right there, right handy, fills up that pouch, and it's big enough I can put one of these big notebooks in so I can write some good notes in that. Anything else that I might need, I don't think I have anything else in here at this time, but yeah, anything else that I might need that's kind of like if I need to throw a map in there real quick, um, that's a good place for it to go. So it's right there, right, easily accessible right there in front of me. Next up from that, I got my grenade pouch. Not always thrown a lot of grenades, but it is good to have. Sometimes I don't even put grenades in there. I've even gone so far as for some long rucks, thrown an apple in my grenade pouch to eat in the middle of the ruck. So it you can throw lots of little different things in here. Um, I've I've done before. I've seen other guys that they'll put their headlamps in the grenade pouches, so it can be a good utility pouch, not necessarily just for grenades. So it makes a good uh, utility pouch where you can put other stuff in there that you might need if you don't have a grenade. So next to that, I got my little carabiner clip where sometimes I might clip my gloves. I might clip my sling if I need to get it out of the way, but generally it's just an extra place to hook my gloves. My gloves usually stay on my belt, but depending on what's going on, I might be clipping them on and off my belt because that's easier to get to because it's right here in my workspace. From there, I got another pin up here because going by the rule of SEER school, one is none, two is one. So you always want something extra. Um, want extra little things to keep on your kit because you never know when you're actually going to lose one, or if a friend needs to borrow one because they forgot or lost theirs because they're an idiot. So keep extras. It's always good practice. Now from there, this is all Velcro up here, so I would keep my name tape, my rank up here. I've also got a "In God We Trust" up here, just because when you're going into combat and you want God on your watching your six. So always good to keep on his good side. All right, so that's it for the front of the carrier. We'll go ahead and move on to the left cummerbund here. Now, And one thing else you may notice, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, I kind of skipped over it, and I'll address it here in a minute, is you may notice these little clips right here, little buckle clips, and then you saw it right here on the side. I got a female clip, and I got male clips up here. I'll talk about those in a minute here. Those are actually for my backpack, so I will get into that in just a minute here after I finish up with the vest. So on my left cummerbund, I've got my drinking water. I found this is just a little pouch I found on Amazon. Honestly, it was like 15-20 bucks, and it holds my big old water bottle in there. I can normally I've got a slightly smaller one that goes in here that fits a little bit better, but I can get my big one in here. Although it's not hard, it's hard to get in and out of the pouch. So usually this thing would go in my backpack or my rucksack, just because it's such a larger container of water. That would be some of my extra water, uh, and my slightly smaller Nalgene or water ball can go in there and fits really nice. And yeah, it honestly, for being an Amazon purchase, it really wasn't too bad. Aside from there, I've got my seatbelt, my issued seatbelt cutter, because again, one is none, two is one. So I just like having this extra one here, this little quick, let's see if I can get it out. Well, it's supposed to be quick draw, but I'm probably pulling it out from a weird angle. But this little jobber, this little hook jobber, this Benchmade seatbelt cutter that they issue out, and that's literally all it does. That's its whole purpose, is to be a seatbelt cutter. I do kind of like having it. It used to be on my chest, but since I've put my grenade pouch and everything stuff on my chest, and I don't really do that many vehicle ops now, I put it to the side here, because seatbelt cutter isn't really something necessarily I need as much. Now I like to keep the knife up front because it is a medical knife, so it has dual use. However, like I said, I don't do that much vehicle stuff anymore. Um, my new unit isn't as mechanized as, or motorized, I guess, as my last one, so we don't really use vehicles that much. So having a seatbelt cutter isn't that big for me. However, that's not to say at some point I could never be doing a vehicle op. So behind that, I have my radio pouch. This thing is just some off the wall brand that I picked up. I like the drawstrings on it, and being able to adjust it, fit any radio that I need in there, and then it velcros down. This one, I mean, is what it is. If I have a pre-filled radio that I'm not going to be switching out of, especially being a team leader, I'm probably really going to be needing to talk to my squad leaders. So in that case, it's probably going to be pre-filled and stays on a single channel. So in that way, I don't need to access it as much. So it's probably going to go more on the back, be more out of the way equipment. Now, that being said, if it does become more imperative that I need to be switching my radio through channels to get on different frequencies to talk to different people in whatever we may have that situation, then I would be able to move that, and I'll move it on to my right cummerbund up here, be more forward. So with that being said, let's move on over to my right cummerbund. This one, you'll notice, is pretty blank, other than for the female buckle clip over here and my tourniquet. Quick access tourniquet. This tourniquet isn't for me. This is for somebody else to grab for me. So if I go down, somebody runs up, they grab this one out, and they can throw it on me. So it's not for me, it's for someone else. It's not for, so yeah, it's not for me, it's for someone else to grab and throw on me. I'll show you where I keep my tourniquet here in just a minute. That's actually on my belt, and I'll show you why. But for now, yeah, I mean, I could access it, but it's not what I'm going to go to. But yeah, I've actually seen some people, for whatever reason, they mount their tourniquets up here on their shoulder straps. I think that's just a stupid idea, especially if you have a rucksack or a backpack. It's going to be in the way, and you're either pushing it into your face or you're pushing it away, and now your shoulder strap is pulling. Yeah. And honestly, these shoulder straps don't really allow for me to do that. So now I like to keep my right side slick. Being a team leader, I will get issued a pistol, so I like to keep my right side clear so I can go straight down and get a clean draw and not get snagged on any of my gear while I'm drawing my pistol. So that's why I generally keep my right side clear. And yeah, that's the right cummerbund. Not a whole lot to say there. On the back, you'll notice it's completely slick. I don't have anything on here. I used to have a camelback adapter woven on here. One of those little hydration packs that actually Molly weaves in, but I have now taken that off in favor of my new option with the backpack. So since I've talked enough about the backpack and I've covered my vest, let's move on to the backpack. So my backpack is one of these little Y strap, except I've taken the Y strap off of it. Backpacks, I think this particular one is proper. Yeah, again, I don't see markings on this. So I remember I picked it up at a surplus store. I forget how much it was back then, but again, I've had this thing for well over a decade. Yeah, most of my gear out here is going to be probably at least 10 years old and has lasted that long somehow through all the abuse I put it through. So yeah. So now going back to what I was saying earlier about the backpack. So you may notice my straps are kind of all loose and they're not buckled right now. So I found out that this backpack has uh, the plastic buckles on the end of the straps. So I've always wanted, I've had a love and hate relationships when it has come to backpacks and plate carriers. Just because when I wear a backpack, the plate carrier pushes shoulder straps more outside on my shoulders and pulls my shoulders more out, and I can on long movements I have lost kind of started losing feeling in my arms. My arms started getting numb from the backpacks constantly pulling on my all right, so picking back that one back up. All right, you got excuse. I'm going to have some guests with me now. Yeah, it just sounded like it was raining outside, so I wanted to let the dogs in so they didn't get super wet. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the backpack. So yeah, I hated having the backpack and the shoulder straps pull on my uh, shoulders out, getting all numb on long rucks. However, I didn't want to do a back panel. Because to me, back panels they are very useful in doing CQB, but they're not useful doing anything else. So when you're doing CQB and you have a back panel, like all your gear is for the guy behind you. That's not your gear anymore. That magazine, that grenade, whatever else you got back there, it's the guy behind you using it, not you. So unless you really want something off your back, you're going to have to take your whole vest off to access that back panel. It's just not a concept I could really get into. Looks freaking hot. I will say that, like, back panels are sexy as hell, but they they really, outside of CQB, I don't think that they have that much use. So what I finally ended up deciding to do was I attached these buckles onto my plate carrier here. So that way, what I could do is I could take these buckle straps from my backpack and clip them on to the front of my plate carrier, like so, and then take the other straps around, and they could attach on the sides here. If I can do this while one-handed. Usually this is a little bit easier when you're actually wearing it. There you go. And so, and then I'd snap the other side. And that way, now your plate carrier, it basically acts as a back panel. However, you can unclip it, throw your backpack over the front, and you can access what you need in it. And then, if you need to get out of there in a hurry because, oh crap, enemies moving up on us, we need to get ready. You don't have to really have somebody. You don't have to put your vest back on or anything. You can just throw this back over, and hey, you're ready to go in a quick pinch. And then later, when you get a moment, take a tactical pause, clip that back in, and hey, you're good to go. So, like I said, this is one of the new things that I'm going to be trying during this next FTX that I have. So, we'll see how functional that is. Running my backpack in that manner. So we'll see. So a lot of my admin stuff is probably going to go more back here. So let's go ahead and open up a few things. I'll generally carry is then I'll have my extra water or my MRE back here. Always go ahead and open it. This one I haven't field readied yet. I haven't rat fucked it yet. So obviously everybody knows the trick. You open the MRE, take the stuff out that you don't want, keep the stuff you're actually going to eat, tape it all up, and you got a nice compact MRE package that you can, what would be the space of one MRE, you can fit like 2 or 3 in. So I usually keep my MRE in there, so that way during mission I got something to eat. I got my extra water back here too. I also keep, I'm going to start keeping this Vortex rangefinder back here. So with this, when we're set up in a patrol base or something like that, I can get this up with my machine gunners, and then when they're drawing their range cards and sector sketches, I can get them accurate ranges on different objects, so that way they know how far out everything is and know what to range their guns at to be more effective when we're in a patrol base. So that's the main compartment, and anything else would be mission essential, would go in that main compartment. If we need extra smoke grenades on mission, in this upcoming FTX, I'm going to be playing Op 4, so I'm sure I'm going to be throwing a lot of artillery simulators in that, or RD sims. So those are the little, they look like little flares that you pull and throw, and they make a little whistling noise and a pop to simulate an incoming artillery round. So playing Op 4, I'm sure I'll get to play with some of those, and I'll be carrying plenty of those in here to be the bad guys. So moving on to the next pouch in here. Generally, what I'll keep is I like to keep battery packs. I'll keep battery packs, phone, whatever else I might need to charge up, or if we're going to be out for a little while. Keep my phone charged. Keep other electronics, ATAC, anything else like that, battery packs, or extra batteries for night vision, optics, IR, lasers. Yeah, so any extra batteries for any of the battery requirement or battery required equipment that we have would go back here. Next, I've got a camo compact, just in case I need to put some on my face. However, a lot of times what I've started doing is I've started keeping a thin face mask. So I started doing that after riding in the gunner seat on a Humvee a couple times, and it takes about one time of doing that, riding down a dusty road as a gunner on the Humvee, before you go get a mask, because you are just sucking dirt the whole time when you're up there. Even if you're in the lead car, yeah, it still sucks. It especially sucks if you're the rear car. So sometimes I'll just keep a camo face mask so I can throw that on, so I don't have to get all greasy faced and stuff. But sometimes you just can't do that, and you actually need to camo your face. So good to have. Back here in this next pouch, I like to keep my headlamp, just because it's not a very useful item, but it's not going to be an item that I particularly always need. Um, Even at night, you try to do what you can without using your red lamp as much as possible, but you do have those situations where you absolutely have to have a red lamp. In that case, you do need it, but I'll keep it back here until I need it. I think that's pretty much it. I'll usually just kind of take gear in and out of this thing. Right now it's empty because I'm on the in-between stage of experimenting with the setup that I've got for hooking this up to my plate carrier. I don't think I have anything in this back. Yeah, this back pouch would be like the ammo, or not ammo. My admin pouch that was on my vest, but since things have got moved around, I've moved it onto my backpack, and I will keep more. I can keep more things in there if I need to, but my backpack's going to be kind of my support items, stuff that I might want quick access to, but not necessarily immediate access, but a lot of mission support equipment back here. All right, so that does it for the backpack. Like I said, yeah, it's empty right now, so it'll probably get filled up and changed out depending on the mission. Stuff might get put in, stuff will get taken out. I might not even have an MRE in there because mission doesn't call for it. We're not going to be out that long. I mean, yeah, the guys in Black Hawk Down said that too, but yeah, life of a soldier, always trying to lighten our load. So, all right, moving on. Moving on to the belt. The belt, I will say, is a Core Systems belt. That's Kore, Core. Is fantastic. I love this thing. It has served me well for the past, I've had this thing for at least 2-3 years now. And I love it. It has been great. It works really well with the belt I mentioned at the beginning of the video, with the Velcro on the inside, so it stays attached really nicely. Excuse me. It stays attached really nicely, and I don't have problems with it shifting or moving or riding in a uncomfortable way. It stays where I want it, and I have had no problems with it bruising or rubbing or doing any of that sort of thing. So great gun belt. And I've tried some of the bulkier, like thicker war belts. I've not always enjoyed those. Sometimes those are just too bulky and padded. So I like this thing. This for me feels a lot more mobile for what I need it for. All right, so moving on, we'll just work our way down here. All right, so starting up here, I've got my holster. Now this is just my general holster. This is for my personal pistol. I have no idea what holster this is. I found it in a bargain bin at a gun store, and it fit my pistol with the light on it, so I bought it. And I've been using it for a couple years now. And I want to eventually move up, because this one is a friction retention holster, which is not exactly a comforting idea. I haven't had any issues with it losing my pistol or my pistol getting loose or shifting or in any sort of way. So it has done its job very well and retained my pistol in there. Which, if you're wondering what pistol I use, I talked about that in my previous video. Go watch my STR9, the Stoger STR9 review video. First video I've made, and I'm working on getting better. Okay, but my pistol has gone in this holster, and it is stayed in here. I've not had any issues, so if it works, it works. I'm going to keep using it until I find at least a level 2 retention, and use that. But for the life of me, I cannot seem to find a good holster that also works for my pistol and my light. So Safari Land had one that I found that it was like marketed as an off-duty holster for a Glock, and my Stoger 9 or Stoger 9 or Stoger STR9. I will get that out. It fit in it and locked in very well with the TLR1 light on it, and I loved it. But for the life of me, I cannot seem to find another one of those. I didn't get to keep that holster. That holster came and went, but for the life of me, I cannot find another one of those particular holsters. So until then, I'm still using this one. All right, so moving on, I have this. This is kind of a general utility pouch, nice long. A lot of times I'll throw my night vision in here. It works really well for that. Right now, I've got my binoculars in there. And honestly, I have my binoculars in there, and I still have room to put my night vision in there. Ideal, not really. Usually, I just put my night vision by itself, and it rides pretty well back here. But I do want to find something maybe a little bit more padded than this, because I don't think this is padded enough to really truly protect optics. But it has worked well enough. So just kind of a nice long general utility pouch. And yeah, moving on from there, this is my med kit. So this one is snap it here, and you can grab this handle, and it is a rip away. So now I can rip it away, break it out, and I can access what I want. But at the same time, it's stored out of my way for when I don't need it. Now this, you may notice, as I got my other tourniquet attached to the bottom of this. This is my tourniquet I'm going to use for me. So if I get hit, I can just reach around, grab that rip it off. A tourniquet comes around with it. I can access my tourniquet. Do I need to? And then I can unzip it and access all my medical stuff as needed. I've also got my casualty card in here as well. So yeah, and I've got it clearly marked as with a medical tag on here too. So that way, if anybody comes up and they need my IFAC, they can see, oh, that's his marked IFAC. So I'll keep it right there now. And then I can keep this little buckle wrapped around so that way that the tourniquet doesn't get ripped off. It's buckled in there, tightened down. And yeah, that's my IFAC. Moving on from there, I've got my dump pouch. This is definitely a very older model and it has seen a lot of abuse. However, again, it's one of those gear pieces that I've had it as long as I've had the vest and it refuses to die. And I have tried several times to try to incorporate some sort of setup where I don't have a dump pouch, and every single time I have come back to putting the dump pouch on my gear. It refuses to let me not have it. So every time I've tried my gear in 1,000 different ways, and every time I find myself needing a dump pouch. So it's one of those items that I am never taking off. This belt has stayed in this configuration for the past year, and I have not changed hardly anything other than maybe upgrading pieces on it. Other than that, I leave it as is, unless it's a new, better piece of equipment that's going on. I'll take the old one off, and the new one comes on and it's going right back in the old one's place. There's a moth in here. Okay, moving on from that. Next, I have a flashbang grenade pouch. I know it's a little hard to see, but I have a flashbang grenade pouch. Again, same story as the grenade pouch on my vest. Not something I've always run with, but sometimes I'll put my mask back here. I'll put little miscellaneous items in it. It just becomes, sometimes it becomes just an extra utility pouch that I can use, or I can even throw my red lamp back in there. So again, it's good to have. I forget, I've used this thing for several different things that wasn't always a flashbang, but it's on there in case I ever do need or do have a flashbang, but probably very unlikely. So moving on from that, I have another a taco mag pouch for my rifle, just to have an extra mag, so that way, at the very minimum, I want to be able to carry at least eight or so mags. Now, clearly with my vest, I can have 8 mags right there on the front. Extra one makes 9, and then when my rifle makes 10. If I can do that, then yeah, I want to do that, because being line infantry, fire superiority is the game, and you're only going to be able to do that with carrying more ammo. So I just like having mags on my kit. Now, am I probably ever going to really carry 10 mags? Maybe, maybe not. If I can get away with it, I'm going to try. But yeah, and I have that ability if I need to carry an extra mag. In front of that, I have my double taco pistol magazines. So once again, being a team leader, getting issued a pistol, I'm going to need some pouches for the pistol magazines. Now, originally, I didn't have these tacos on here. I had the flap pistol magazines, and they had double use. I would keep one, would have my multi-tool in it, and then the other one would have the a single magazine in it, because I was only going to carry my pistol with mag in it, and then have one spare mag. Just because I don't I don't like giving up real estate to pistol mags, because a pistol is not going to be my primary weapon. It is only there if crap has hit the fan and I need to problem solve, because my rifle, I either do not have my rifle, or I need to get to my rifle, or my rifle has gone down. That is going to be the only situation where I am going to use my pistol. But in that case, I'm literally only fighting to my rifle. Once I get my rifle back up, that pistol's gone. It's going back in the holster. It's going somewhere. I'm not going to be using it. All right, so that's pretty much. Oh, and then I have another little carabiner with my gloves on my belt. I like to generally keep my gloves on my belt, but sometimes, like I said, I like to clip them on my vest, just depending on what I need. These are mechanics. They're some of the camouflage mechanics gloves. They're actually really nice. Nice and padded. I do like them. I've used them for a little while now. I actually picked these up after I lost one of my issued gloves. So unfortunately, I ended up finding it again, but at that time I'd already bought these, and I just wanted to go ahead and have an extra pair, because again, one is none, two is one. So I kind of goofed with dropped the ball with the gloves when I lost my issued glove. So one last item is going to be my helmet. This is going to be one of the hardhead veterans ACH helmet, and you can tell just by the arc rails I've got on the side here. So I've thrown my issued helmet cover over it with the arc rails, and then I've got the chin straps. I've really this has been one of the more comfortable chin straps I've used. So shout out to hardhead veterans for this. This helmet has been fantastic. The padding has been super comfortable. This whole strap is one of the better ones I have ever used, and I have really, really liked it. Even the night vision mount has been great. A little wobbly as far as the issued J-arm and Rhino mount is concerned, but you throw your little cords on there and it works great. And from there, yeah, usually I'm running PVS 14s. That's what I'm issued, so that's what I go with. This one is my personal set. I actually had one of my buddies. Shout out to him. He makes night vision. Um, I'll check with him if he's interested, or got a website for where you can order some of his night vision. I'll put it in the link below. If he's got nods available, he that's his side thing, is he builds them, puts them together, and sells them. And this is a fantastic set he built, and I love it. I've used this to pop raccoons and possums and foxes all around my property. They're trying to get to my chickens. So yeah, they didn't stick around too long with once I started showing up with these. So a nice shout out to him. He makes some fantastic nods. So, well, I think that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap up my gear shakedown, my whole kit review. So tell me what you thought. If you got any suggestions on kit. Hey, did you learn anything from today's video? Any inspirations on your own current kit, so maybe some things you didn't think about. Let me know in the comments down below. Hey, hit me up. Let me know. Is there anything else that you would like to see? Is there something that the big gun tubers just aren't doing that you're like, I want to see somebody do this? Let me know down in the comments below. I am a young, growing channel. I'm trying to get this going and out there. And hey, I'd be willing to try to see, hey, what you guys want? What you guys want to see? What can I do different to stand out from your regular gun tuber? I don't want to be just, I don't want to copy all the other guys, but I also don't want to go down the road of just dumping on what they do. I have great respect for Grand Thumb, Admin Results, and all those guys. Hey, they do good work out there. But yeah, let me know if there's anything that you would like to, in particular, you'd like to see, anything else, and I'll see what I can do to make it happen. Until then, hey, be safe out there, get some good training in, and make sure you're physically fit and ready to go at all times. Anyway, I'm Lane, and this has been Mountain View Range Day.